Welcome top news today.
Jakarta. Leaders of countries in Southeast Asia on Thursday, December 7, reacted strongly to U.S. President Donald Trump's controversial decision to reverse a decade-old American policy and recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. I call on all Muslims across the world to let your voices be heard, make it clear that we strongly oppose any recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital for all time, said Malaysia's Prime Minister Najib Razak in his speech at an annual gathering of ruling party UMNO in Kuala Lumpur. His comments follow a statement by the Malaysian Foreign Ministry warning that the move by Mr. Trump could result in grave repercussions toward the security and stability of the region, making efforts to combat terrorism all the more difficult. Indonesian President Joko Widodo on Thursday condemned the U.S. decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, reported newswire agency Reuters. Indonesia strongly condemns the United States' unilateral recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and asks the U.S. to reconsider the decision, Mr. Widodo told a news conference in Bogor. This can rock global security and stability, he said. Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi donned the iconic black and white checkered Palestinian scarf at an international conference on democracy in Banten province on Thursday. She said Indonesia would always stand by Palestine, echoing the fierce condemnation of the latest Trump decision from countries in the Middle East. We condemn this recognition, said Ms. Retno in her opening speech at the 10th Bali Democracy Forum, saying the move goes directly against a United Nations Security Council's resolution. I stand here, wearing the Palestinian scarf to show the strong commitment of Indonesia, of the people of Indonesia, to always be with the Palestinian people, for their rights. Indonesia will always stand with Palestine, she added. Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi wears Palestinian scarf at 10th Bali Democracy Forum as Trump recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Pic.twitter.com Motzkopkin, Jewel Topsfield at Jewel Topsfield December 7, 2017. Ms. Retno had earlier in the week spoken with U.S. Ambassador to Indonesia, Mr. Joseph Donovan, to express Indonesia's deep concern over the issue of the status of Jerusalem, and to persuade the White House against recognizing Jerusalem as the capital. She said that any change in the status of Jerusalem will endanger the peace process and peace itself. Mr. Trump's decision on Wednesday overturns decades of U.S. policy and risks triggering a fresh spasm of violence in the Middle East. Indonesia has been a strong advocate of the two-state solution for the long-standing Middle East conflict, which envisions an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital alongside Israel. Malaysia's foreign ministry also warned that any attempts to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, establishing or transferring any diplomatic mission to the city, are considered aggression towards the Arab and Islamic world, and an infringement on the rights of Muslims and Christians. It is also an infringement on the Palestinian people's national rights, including their right to self-determination, and a grave breach of international law along with the Security Council's relevant resolutions, it said. The ministry requested the United Nations member states not to recognize any changes in the pre-1976 borders, including in connection with Jerusalem. Recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel is not a recognition of the reality on the ground. It is an expression of support for Israeli policies, much of which is in contravention of international law, it said. Both Indonesia and Malaysia are the two largest Muslim-majority nations in ASEAN. Separately, Singapore's Ministry of Foreign Affairs MFA in a statement said the future status of Jerusalem should be decided through direct negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians, as it reaffirmed the Republic's long-standing and consistent support for a two-state solution. In response to media queries on Mr. Trump's announcement on Wednesday, the MFA spokesman said the status of Jerusalem is a sensitive and complex issue with a long history, and any premature and unilateral action to alter the status of Jerusalem will impede progress for a peaceful resolution of the Middle East and Palestinian problem. Singapore reaffirms its long-standing and consistent support for a two-state solution, which will involve the establishment of an independent Palestinian state living side by side in peace and security with Israel, added the MFA. In a Facebook post on Thursday, Singapore's Environment and Water Resources Minister, Mr. Masagos Zulkifli, said the MFA statement reflects Singapore's stand on the issue recognition of the two-state solution and its tandem resolutions. I wish the stakeholders keep the peace as many sound and fair-minded countries help to resolve this long-drawn, complex and sensitive issue. We must not add fodder to the situation that has for decades justified mindless violence by terrorists and enmity between neighbors, a dark history the human race can do without, he said.